Moving forward, this is what Mr. Haider said in his talk this morning. Incidentally, in this evening, we have our Honorable ITBT Minister with us, Shri Priyank Kharge. Let's know his thoughts and his views towards A&D. We have with us Honorable Minister Priyank Kharge addressing you.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good evening to all the dignitaries on the stage, Mr. Krishnamurthy, Dr. Shivalang, and all the wonderful ladies and gentlemen present here on this lovely evening. Firstly, I would like to thank AISA for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful initiative called DEFTRONICS, where we aim for self-reliance and global relevance in the areas of defense, aerospace, and space. Honestly speaking, this vertical is very close to my heart, as I have spent over 5 years as a National Cadet Corps of the Indian Air Force, and I had also applied for NDA, but I did not really make the cut for the reasons that I don't want to really disclose over here. Also, just for the record, I had applied for the National Defense Academy and not for National Democratic Alliance. My loyalties are very, very strong with the Congress. Talking of which, I'd like you to recall that soon after Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri took over the Prime Ministership of India after Shri Nehru's death, India was attacked by Pakistan, and at the same time there was scarcity of food grains in the country too. Those were very turbulent times. At one end, we had war, and at the other end, we had a nation that was starving. Shri Shastriji had the unenviable task of motivating the nation, and while addressing his rally at Ramlila Maidan in Delhi, the then PM raised a slogan that would go down as one of the best in our political history. The slogan was Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, meaning hail the soldier and hail the farmer. Fast forwarding to 1998, after the Pokhran nuclear test, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee sort of updated Shri Shastriji's slogan of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan with Jai Vigyan, or hail knowledge, probably to undermine the importance of knowledge and science in India's progress. While we as Indians were very proud of the nuclear test, the rest of the world community wasn't too amused, and they imposed sanctions, but that I think is a different story altogether for another day. The point I'm trying to make over here is that in the next couple of years, it will be 2 decades since the very famous Pokhran test. There is still a crucial question that we are yet to find an answer for. Although we have made significant progress in science and technical know-how, we are yet to become self-sufficient in defense manufacturing. This is not only about military power, but also about being self-reliant for our own defense equipment. We still spend thousands of crores of rupees to procure defense equipment from overseas. Modern wars have to be fought with modern weaponry and advanced tactical systems, along with reliable and secure information networks. Given the current global scenario, modernization of our forces has become very critical. India has the 3rd largest army, the 4th largest air force, and the 7th largest navy in the world. India is among the top 10 countries in the world in terms of military expenditure and world's largest arms exporter. India allocates about 1.8% of its GDP towards defense spending, of which 40% is allocated to capital acquisitions, and only about 30% of India's equipment is manufactured in India. And that also, like you rightly pointed out, sir, by public sector undertakings. Even when the defense products are manufactured here domestically, there's a large import component into that. All these factors make Indian defense market one of the most attractive markets globally and provides an immense opportunity for both domestic and foreign players in the defense sector. One of the most important aspects of any aerospace defense or internal security is electronics. It is the engine that would drive the next wave of manufacturing in India. But reports say that our import bills of electronics will soon surpass our oil bills. I stand corrected on that. I'm not sure really on that, but I think we are looking forward. Dr. Saraswat agrees with me, I guess. Electronics is being an essential component of defense and aerospace industry. This is an alarming scenario and calls for course correction that both the government of India and government of Karnataka is committed for by envisaging a vision of net zero imports in strategic electronics. To ensure that this turns into reality, the private sector too should play an important role, and we are happy to support you all the way. At present, the part played by SMEs and MSMEs in defense arena is quite small, and if we can successfully integrate private players into the work done by the PSUs and the DPSUs, then a resurgence of domestic manufacturing in India, led by defense sector, will not be far off. It is a matter of great pride that today we are one of the top contenders in space technology. The fact that through the indigenously developed Mars orbiter mission, we are the only country to have achieved success in our maiden attempt at Mars, and that too at a fraction of cost of a similar missions makes this even more incredible. Even the launch of the Cartosat 2 for Earth observation and 19 other satellites for countries like US, Canada, Germany, and Indonesia by ISRO makes us top-class contender to be the next big player in space. I'm sorry, sir, I heard you say that our insurance is only 2%, whereas others it is 9%. So I think that is why our success rate is higher, because there's so much of pressure for you to be successful. Otherwise, everything would be dependent on insurance, I guess. So I guess that's why our success rate is higher. I would like to make a special mention on aerospace, as it is gaining very swiftly here in Karnataka. We, like Doctor mentioned, we are the natural choice for anything to do with aviation, aerospace, and defense. We have the IAF, the DRDO, BEL, NAL, HAL, ISRO, Indian Institute of Science, C.V. Raman Institute of Science, and other premier institutions that make us the knowledge capital in aviation and aerospace. Besides, we have private entities like GE, Airbus, Safran, Quest, Rolls-Royce, Dassault Systems, amongst others that are working closely with our establishments. However, if we need to ride the next big wave, we also need the necessary skill sets too. Like we were just having a conversation with Dr. Saraswat earlier, that there's a huge shortage of industry-ready engineers in the country, in the manufacturing sector in general, and defense and aerospace sector in particular. Currently, it is estimated that only 18% of the industry graduates are employable after graduation, and it takes anywhere between 6 months to 2 years to get them industry-ready. I'm sure GE over here must be agreeing with this point, at least, getting the industry-ready part of it. And according to the third edition of National Employability Report for Engineers, less than 20% of those graduating from the colleges are employable for software jobs, while a minuscule 7% are competent enough to be employed for core engineering jobs. Furthermore, according to another report, 20 of 1.5 million engineers graduating from Indian engineering colleges, only 20% from who are graduating from our engineering college run the risk of being unemployed. That's a very high number, 20 to 33%. While the others, 66 to 80% of them apparently who get a job undertake roles below their technical qualifications. So probably that's the reason why we find an engineer in a call center. So it's quite a disappointing thing to do. But during the recently held Invest Karnataka, we realized that the government needs to have special focus on skill sets in aviation and defense. If we need to really completely tap into the potential of aerospace and aviation, and as a part of this exercise, the former higher education minister, Mr. T.B. Jayachandra, and me visited a couple of universities abroad to evaluate the best practices being followed in aerospace and aviation courses. It was quite astonishing to see. Probably there was a lab which we visited in a university which was twice as big. The lab, it was twice as big, where they had complete aviation and defense simulation assembled kits, and a wind tunnel inside the laboratory which could attain a stupendous speeds of Mach 5 in a tunnel in a lab this small. So that's when the minister actually decided that, okay, now I'm convinced, let's have a center of excellence in aerospace in Bengaluru. And we have Today, there is a proposal in front of the government to do so. So we are proposing a Center of Excellence for Aerospace and Defense, which will be a key enabler for increasing employability of engineers, enable high-end skills of working professionals, breed research and development, and attract investments to Karnataka through availability of talent pools specifically developed for this industry. So this the proposal that is being evaluated by the government is a whopping 134 crores, which will be soon set up probably by early next year or so. Besides skills, the government of Karnataka has specific policies to help facilitate manufacturing of electronics in Karnataka. I urge you to go through our industrial policy that focuses on manufacturing and gives special incentives for investments throughout the states, especially in the backward regions. I'm sure that most of you here are already aware of the ESDM policy from the Department of IT/BT that has a complete focus on electronics, semiconductors, design and manufacturing. We have both green and brownfield clusters, including a hardware park that is up for grabs in Devanhalli. Besides this, we also have our ambitious aerospace park. Mr. Krishnamurthy was telling me that not many of them are aware of this, so I think probably we need to publicize it a little more, because that's also up for, we are investment ready for an aerospace park as well. And Mr. Krishnamurthy also mentioned that there was a lot of buzz in the startup ecosystem. I'd like to put on record that Karnataka has been the first state to dedicate a startup cell focusing exclusively for multi-sector startups. So we are probably rated number 15 by the World Economic Forum as one of the best cities for startups. And I'd also like to say that we are also keen to fund startups in aerospace and defense and electronics. So we are sitting on a very nice fund of 400 crores that has special focus on startups. So the need of the day is to bring policies like these, design innovation, hard work and ability to see the vision through in defense and aerospace sectors. And to this end, I believe this conference, DEFTRONICS, is an idea whose time has come, as it brings together all the stakeholders together, creating a tremendous networking opportunity and thereby fruitful partnerships. And lastly, I believe that this year at DEFTRONICS 2016, AISA and NASSCOM have taken giant leap forward in recognizing, you have introduced the DEFTRONICS Awards, right? For, which aims to recognize outstanding individuals and role models in innovation and excellence in electronics and design services ecosystem in aerospace and defense industry. My congratulations to all the winners, and I hope you stay inspired. And a very special thank you to AISA for having me over on this great occasion. Good night, good luck, Jai Hind and Jai Karnataka.